I've loved the mountains since I was a kid and always been hiking. I started canyoning when I was 19, and when I was 35 and I found myself on my own with the two boys who were 1 and 9, I decided that I needed some time out. And the Aborigines actually say that the Blue Mountains is a very healing place, which I didn't know at the time, but I felt very drawn to the mountains, and I decided to come and move up here for about 6 months. So the things that I loved about it was the fresh air, the slower pace, the distinct seasons, so you feel like you're more in cycle with nature, whereas in the city environment it's quite controlled most of the time. You still get the seasons, but not quite as clearly. So for me, I think moving to the mountains was about just being in nature and living more in tune with nature. I wanted something that would have potential. So for me, this was a very rustic farmhouse, and it's almost exactly what I wanted because I could really make it our own, and it would give me the opportunity to create the ultimate vision over time. So that's what I wanted. I wanted the canvas and the foundations to do that, and that's exactly what the house was. When I bought the property, my vision for it was firstly to make it comfortable. So the lady I bought it off, Joan, was 88 at the time, and they'd put a lot of love into the garden, but they didn't have a lot of money, and they had lived here for, I think, for about 50 years. So the house had gone through a variety of renovations within their means, and it had left it with a very unique collision of eras. To make it comfortable, it was just really stripping away that overwhelm of the senses from all those different eras. So I took away all the curtains, and we ripped the carpet out, and I put the central heating in, and I think that was the main thing I did first. And then I painted the brown. It had a dark brown laminate kitchen. I can't wait until all the brown and beige on this property is gone. And that was the first stage. So really it was just to make sure we were comfortable. The second stage was making it less shit, and that meant having a bathroom that was, and you'll see the pictures of the bathroom originally, that again wasn't brown and had a bathtub, because a bathtub was really important to me, and now Jasper's obsessed with having a bathtub, so I wanted to have a nice bathtub. So I reused and recycled most of the things that we used, and I had a recycled kitchen that a friend gave us. So I ended up renovating the kitchen for about $3,000 and the bathroom for about $2,500. So it was a really cheap renovation, and it just made it just more comfortable and more us, because I knew it would be a while before I'd be able to, fulfil the full vision I had for the property. So, and I was renovating when I was still here on my own. So I was doing that in between building the business and raising the boys. And that made it nice, and then we put the fireplace in, so having the open fire was like the next thing, which also was going to stop me from doing things like setting the porch on fire with the fire pit. That was a bit of a safety issue. And then the third stage was the full vision. So the full vision I had for this property was the dream kitchen. I love cooking, and I wanted to have this beautiful, spacious kitchen that would enable me to cook and feed and entertain in the way that I'd really like to. And the house is it's got the high ceilings and it's got beautiful bones, but obviously it needs a bit of love, so it needs to be better insulated. And then I have the permaculture design for the garden, so I want to be able to grow most of our own food and have a food forest and a wildlife corridor. Alan wants a workshop to work in, and I want a studio that I can earn an income from. And then we want to build a granny flat to provide a sanctuary for other people in the way that I had when I came up here. Potentially accommodation for my mother, because the property is big enough to house us both with some degree of harmony. I think the thing that really drove me with this property was giving the boys the childhood that I always wanted. And what I feel is really important, and I guess what I've grown up to know without a doubt is extremely important. And that's the stuff that money can't buy. I mean, obviously money bought this property, but it's important, but it's not the central driver. It's an enabler. And I want the boys to appreciate that. So, I just love the fact that the kids have space to run around. Jasper's friends come over, and this is not the most opulent house in the Blue Mountains, but it's just a house that people love to come to. And I think that's what I loved when I came to this house, when I looked at it for the first time. It felt like a place that people love to come to. I just wanted to create this haven that really taps into all those things that money can't buy, that you get so much joy and pleasure out of. And to have a house that has memories and meaning. I think the people that owned the house before me talked a lot about the different memories they'd created here. They had a wedding, her husband died in my bedroom, and I guess it just encapsulated the full meaning of life. And when Scarlett died, I planted the fig tree over her, and I think it's just a place where you create memories and you create things that survive, not like a piece of plastic that goes into landfill that doesn't mean much, but an apple tree that we're going to plant for Jasper's 9th birthday that his friends bought him, with the little rocks that they've painted that we'll put underneath. Those kinds of things that just have way more meaning than anything you could pick up on eBay or, an online store. So that's what I want for the boys, and I think they're really coming to appreciate that and appreciate the joy of eating really good food and spending your time doing things that give you a way better return than just a thing.